Hello guys, welcome to the Delivery Room podcast.
The mic is on.
The room is sacred.
Let's talk.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Delivery Room. We are so excited to have you back. Thank you for the support, the likes, the shares, the views on all our videos on all social media platforms. We are so grateful. So today we have another very exciting guest with us. We have a strong woman, a very strong woman. I'd like to call her a survivor, actually. I'd like to call her very brave, and we're so grateful that she's come out here to tell her story. And to inform women and to just be another pillar actually in the Black women community and just raise awareness to maternity care and health in general. So we would like to introduce you guys to Deesh.
Hi guys. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself? Just general what you do, and
Hi everyone, I'm Khadija. I also go by the name of Deesh on most of my social media platforms. It'll be Deesh, and family and friends call me that. I'm a mother of 4. I'm a sepsis and a Strep A survivor. So to get into my story, basically I had twin girl and boy 2 years ago, and I had a fine labour, a long pregnancy, obviously carrying them, but everything was fine like throughout my whole labour and my pregnancy. I went home, got discharged from hospital a day after I gave birth to the twins, and by like day 2 I started experiencing some really bad stomach pains, and then from then each day got worse. So vomiting started, diarrhea. There was one night I was like really shivering and I was so cold, but the heat was on in the house. I had lots of appetite, couldn't eat. I was just so tired. I was just sleeping a lot. By day 5, after seeing 2 midwives that actually came to see me, the community midwives, and expressing my concern to both of them on both of these occasions, I basically got brushed off and was just told, you've had twins, it's okay to feel like this, and just stagger painkillers. So I listened to them, but like there was a niggling feeling in my brain just telling me something's not right. I'd had 2 babies before, my eldest being now 12, and my second born now being 6. So I've had 2 perfect labours before. So and I know how it feels after giving birth. But this was a different type of feeling, and by day 5 it was unbearable, and I thought, I'm calling the ambulance. So I called the ambulance and I explained to them I just had babies 5 days ago and something's not right. So they said, cool, we're going to get an ambulance out to you. They did. It was quite quick, probably in about 20 to 30 minutes. Okay. They came and they checked my observations, and my blood pressure was like skyrocketing high. And they was like, yeah, by what you're saying, your symptoms, and by your observations, we think we should take you in. So they took me in back to the hospital I originally gave birth to my twins, and I was in A&E sitting for hours. I just remember being so unwell, like vomiting continuously, not holding anything down, but feeling so dehydrated. I was literally drinking water after water, cups of water, and just asking for more water, but nothing was quenching my thirst. So they told me that I was really dehydrated, and that was probably normal, and I probably thought that as well because I hadn't been eating or drinking for the past how much days. So they put me on a drip, but they did bloods as well. And I don't, like, my time in A&E is a bit of a blur. Like, I remember bits and pieces of it, but there's times where I kind of was in and out of consciousness. So what I was told after is that there was a time where my blood pressure, like, it dropped, like it was unreadable. So they took me to resus, where they clicked like a closer eye on me, and they were calling all these departments, like the obstetrics teams, and they thought something could be with my kidneys. So they were calling all these teams because they didn't actually know what was wrong. They were running lots of CT scans and all that stuff. So in the end, they just thought the best thing was for me to go to intensive care because they didn't actually know what was going on. So early that morning, about 1-2 o'clock, they admitted me to intensive care. And the next morning, I remember a consultant coming to me and basically saying, we believe that there's some sort of cyst that's causing an infection that we need to take you down to theatre to drain. So I had to sign the paperwork and they took me to theatre. But at that stage, it was kind of risky to put me to sleep because like my heart rate was really fast and my blood pressure was really low. So putting you to sleep is a big risk. So they're a bit skeptical about it, but they thought we need to do this because this is causing an infection. So I remember getting wheeled down, saying bye to my family, and they giving me they put me to sleep. And I just remember the last thing me saying to myself was, I got this, and then everything went black. And then I woke up, which I thought was from my surgery, but it was actually a week being in a induced coma. So what they did is they kept me asleep because they didn't the pressure on my heart rate was too high. So they was like, we think we should keep her asleep, let her body recover. So they put me in an induced coma, and I was in that for a whole week, 7 days. So I remember waking up and then just like not knowing what's going on, but thinking I've just woken up from my surgery. So I'm thinking I'm okay now. And then my family revealed my body to me because it was like under the cover. And then my hands were black, my feet were black, like someone had burnt them, like so stiff, like rock, like you could knock on it and it sounded like very hard. And then my hands were like in a claw shape and I couldn't move it. It was just stuck there in that position. And my nose even had turned a bit black as well. And it was like flaking where the new skin was trying to come through. And then like the same for my legs, like up until my knees, there was like skin peeling. But it's like, I don't know, how can I explain it? It's like, you know when you have a cut, but then it's healing. But then there's little scabs all over you. So that's what my leg was like up until my knee. And my arms up until like hair as well. So I was thinking, what's happened? I didn't come in here like this. Why am I now, like my body, my limbs deteriorating and gone black? It don't make sense. So I didn't know what happened. I didn't understand what had gone on. And then it was later explained to me that I had an infection which caused my body to go into septic shock. So I spent time in intensive care, high dependency unit, and then I went on to a ward when I was a bit more better and stable. And yeah, it was just a crazy time because I was missing out time with my kids. I'm used to being with my kids every single day. I've just had babies. I haven't even had the time to bond with them. I literally had 5 days with them and I was back in hospital. So yeah, that was a crazy time. And I spent 6 months in that hospital doing like physio and obviously then agreeing to amputation, because at first when they told me about amputation I was like, absolutely not, I'm not doing that, my body can heal. And it kind of got to a stage where it's like, we ain't gonna let you home until you have these amputations. And I was like, I'm missing out too much time with my kids, so if this means I have to move forward by having these amputations, I'm gonna have to do it. So I had my first amputation on August the 22nd, 2023. And so I had the babies in April 2023. First amputation in August 2023. And then 2 weeks later, which they just got rid of the dead parts. But that, in order to make a good stump to fit in prosthetics, you have to go sometimes a bit higher up. So the next operation that was in 2 weeks after that was the final operation where they would make the stump, go a bit higher, make the stump and staple all together. So, and then like have a drainage coming out of it So that was on the 5th of September. And I remember my daughter was just starting school that day. And her dad had to bring her in the morning. I didn't even get to see my daughter first day. And I saw her in her uniform. He brought her up, but I missed it. So, yeah, I was just missing key points in my kid's life. And I was like, yeah, I just can't wait to get back to normality, some sort of normality. So after having my operations in October, so a few weeks later, the rehab was ready for me to start my physio. So I went to rehab, and that's every day, Monday to Friday, 9 to 12 in the gym, whether that's like doing exercises or getting on your prosthetics and walking in the bars or with other walking aids. You're doing it every day. Like, there's even days I don't want to get up, and I'm making excuses. They're knocking at my door. They're like, Deesh, get down to the gym. Like, there was no way out. So, but it was good because it was like something to keep my mind occupied.
Yeah.
And also being around other people in the same situation as me. It was really good. And I think that's what was hard when I left rehab and had gone back to my normal life, because everyone else is normal, where I've just been around a whole load of amputees. So yeah, I spent 3 months there and then left, and I was discharged home in January. So January 2024, I came back home, and it was like a big shock to the system, because I'd left from having 2 kids, being fully an able-bodied mum, to now having 4 kids, twins, and they're like 9 months now, and they're crawling around trying to walk, and I'm still trying to adjust to this new body. At that point, I was walking on my prosthetics, but I was still using a wheelchair and stuff. I wasn't as strong as I am now. So yeah, that's basically on a whole like what's happened. And the cause of it, they say, was from an infection called Strep A, which they don't seem to know how I got Strep A, but I've done my research. Strep A you usually get for like a cold and flu, or you can get it like vaginally. And I would say it would be vaginally for me, because I just had babies. So yeah, I have my thoughts of how that happened, but I am going through like legal proceedings right now to like get to the bottom of it. Because it just doesn't make sense. So yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's a
I
lot
know,
to take.
that is a lot to take in. I think that was quite shocking for me, because, you know, even working in the hospital, like stories like yours don't come around so often.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important, because even the fact that when you said Strep A, I went, because we don't talk about Strep A. That is, I'll be very honest. We don't talk about Strep A. We always talk about Strep B.
Yeah.
And I've never
heard of Strep A before this either.
So that is something for me to take on.
But at that time,
sure.
it happened to me. Apparently, it was like a lot of kids were getting it and stuff at like school.
So like an outbreak.
But I wasn't ill or had any cold or flu type symptoms for me to say, because that's what the hospital said. You probably got it from the community. I was like, I literally was home for 5 days. None of my kids were on half term at this time as well. It was the Easter holidays, so they weren't at school and around other kids. They weren't sick either. So I can't say I got it from a cold or flu. So yeah, it's still a mystery to this day, even though I have my thoughts of how. Yeah.
God.
Okay.
So how did you deal with, I guess, being postpartum? Because that already comes with its set of struggles and adaptations that you'd have to do anyway. Anyone would have to do, but then having to deal with that, and then now with your newly found like diagnoses and treatments and stuff like that, how did you do that?
It was a lot. Like I remember when the babies first got brought to intensive care to see me, and I was like still a bit drugged up, and they were on my chest, and I was like, I didn't know how to feel. I was like, I was grateful, but then there was a disconnect at the same time, because it's like, how am I going to be a mum now? So like, is there any point? Like, them thoughts came through my mind. Like, they're not going to know me because I'm missing out on the crucial bonding time. Like where I'm used to like breastfeeding my kids, they've not had that for me. Well, they had it for a few days and then I was taken away. So it was like, I didn't know how to feel. I just felt numb. Like,
I want to go back to where you said when the midwives came to visit you, you felt like they shrugged you off.
Yeah.
Do you feel like if when you first mentioned your symptoms that they hadn't shrugged you off, that things could have potentially been different?
Yeah, 100%. Definitely, if they had told me from the symptoms that I'd said to them and they said, you know what, I think it's best you go and get checked out.
Yeah.
Go
So you
back
told
to
them about
A&E.
the vomiting, you told them about how you were feeling shivery.
Yeah.
And
It's just staggering painkillers. That's all they said. Stagger the painkillers. You're taking paracetamol, right? Take ibuprofen with it.
did you have a cesarean section? Did you have
No, normal birth.
I find that very odd.
Yeah.
I was gonna
stagger the
say,
pain, because if you said C-section, I'd be like, okay, I understand why they're telling you to stagger the painkillers.
Yeah.
But for someone that has a vaginal delivery, we don't even discharge them with painkillers first of all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we just say, you know, if you feel like discomfort, then take paracetamol.
Yeah.
But I don't know,
Mm.
just
list
I
of
don't know if
symptoms.
because
I even heard like talking to like another midwife, they were saying even if someone is like a couple days after labour and you're still staggering painkillers like
That's a
every 4
concern in
hours and
its
you're
own.
still not feeling
Yeah.
well, that's
Yeah.
a red flag.
that's a red flag.
That is a red
So-
flag.
100%. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, especially for a vaginal delivery. If a cesarean section told me that, I'd be like, okay, you know, you
Yeah.
had abdominal major
Yeah.
surgery, you know, maybe try stagger the
Like,
painkillers and see. I can understand
where
and
they would
see.
Yeah.
potentially
Yeah,
be
but a
coming from.
vaginal delivery, I'd
Yeah.
be very actually quite cautious, and not even just that. I think your symptoms, because especially something. Obviously, your body went into septic shock. Sepsis. We hear that all the time in maternity. All the time. No matter if you're a vaginal delivery, cesarean, in labour, antenatally, sepsis
Pregnant,
is quite literally
yeah.
blam, blam,
Yeah,
blam.
yeah.
It's literally like a red alarm.
'Cause
Like
it's
we
such
hear
a
it
big
all the
thing.
time.
Yeah.
So I am quite shocked that
Disappointed.
and disappointed. I'm actually
Disappointed.
quite disappointed that a midwife heard, because the symptoms that you're describing sounds like someone that's genuinely unwell, and that's where sepsis sort of gradually comes from. The foundation of it is
Yeah.
feeling genuinely
Yeah.
unwell. You know, you start to have a temperature, shivers,
Feverish.
you know, feverish,
Yeah.
That's how it starts.
clammy. You start to feel like you
Headaches.
can't, headaches. That's how
Yeah.
sepsis sort of starts off.
Yeah.
And the fact that was so massive on that in maternity, because it's actually the leading cause actually at the moment
Yeah.
of death in maternity. So I would like
As
to
a
think,
whole, to be fair, in healthcare.
Yeah.
So I would like to think that midwives would hear those type of symptoms and act on it straight
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cause, I always say it doesn't cause any harm to send someone in at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
To
no.
at least, even if they're cleared, at least you sent them in and they've been cleared. But
Yeah.
for two different midwives?
2 different midwives, yeah.
That's really
On
That,
different
that is
occasions.
quite,
That's
and
quite sad.
that midwife should have actually looked at the previous notes and said, actually, she said
A few
this
days ago.
Yeah.
a
you
few
were
days
feeling
ago, like
that
she's
way.
still
She's
feeling that way. Even when I have a normal flu and I feel like I've been down for quite a long time, it starts becoming a red flag for me.
Yeah.
So for someone that's had a baby who's more prone to infection, that has quite shocked me.
Yeah.
That has
Especially
quite
someone
shocked
that's
me.
had babies priir as well.
Yeah.
They're saying they're first.
And they're saying that it's
Yeah, and they're
different
saying
how
this
you're
is
feeling,
different. Like, this is a different type of pain. And the thing is, I'm a person with a very high pain threshold. So I knew this pain in my stomach wasn't, I know they were like, oh, it's probably your cervix contracting back and uterus contracting back. And I was like, in my head, I was like, no, because I felt the
know
pain
what
of a
that-
uterus.
yeah,
This
you
just
know
feels
what
like
that
someone's
feels
literally tearing my, like stabbing me inside and literally ripping me the inside out. Like, it felt so terrible. So,
That is actually, I'm quite disappointed in the midwife care there, actually. 'Cause,
yeah.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
So that's like my main point. Like, I feel in my whole story, if I was listened to, that it would have escalated to what it had got to.
Yeah. Did you have like a debrief after with the healthcare professionals?
So basically, when I was in hospital, they did like a panel meeting. It was like a serious thing.
Yeah.
And they got all their notes and they called me in for a meeting and they basically said, they gave me all the notes and they said, we messed up on 3 occasions. There's 3 things we could have done differently that could have possibly changed the outcome.
Or at least get it recognised earlier.
Yeah. So they said that in that they had this own meeting within the hospital, and they looked at all the notes and who had seen me, and they said these 3 things, and I was like,
do you mind if we ask what those 3 things were? Are you allowed to share them with us?
Yeah.
I guess though that.
I don't know. In terms of like obviously legal proceedings.
I try not to talk too much on legal proceedings because everyone's genuine.
Yeah.
So, basically, I can just say, like, the London ambulance, when they came to see me and get me, they didn't blue light me in. They should have blue lighted me in, and had an obstetrics member on site as soon as they saw me. That wasn't done. I was sitting in A&E for hours.
Yeah.
When my blood pressure dropped, I think a second time.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry to cut you off, but why were you in A&E? That's another... That I just...
And I came in the ambulance.
Why was it you should have been triaged? Because you were only 5 days and triage actually works up until 6 weeks.
Yeah, I don't understand.
So why were you in A&E?
I should have went straight.
That's quite a big question mark.
Yeah, and I was literally like begging them to give me a room, like, because I felt so unwell, and I was just sitting there amongst everybody else. And I just remember feeling so dazed out, like literally having them buckets of sick and vomiting. I just felt terrible. And what other things? Yeah, so when my blood pressure had dropped the second time, by that point they should have started giving antibiotics, and they didn't. They gave antibiotics hours later. I think like 4 hours later, like a lot of hours later. With sepsis, you gotta get them antibiotics.
Even start the protocol within an hour. You should have an hour.
Within an
hour. By the time they gave it to me, my blood count, the blood count of like your infection was on 400 and something.
Oh, your CRP, I'm assuming.
Yes, CRP, that's it.
Jeez,
400 and something.
400.
Yeah. I've not even seen that number in maternity, so I can already tell.
Because we see 15, 16, and we're like, that's high. It needs to come down.
After 10, it's 10. That's the threshold.
Like
that's
if I saw someone with 20, or I'm like, no, we need to get on it. So 400 is insane.
400 and something. When they did it, it was 400 and something.
And as in those results came and then they gave antibiotics 4 hours after seeing that, or had they seen that afterwards?
I'm not sure, but it was my time of being in A&E. They realised when the bloods had come back. I think they might have started giving me after that. But by that point, it was... My body wasn't reacting. I think I was giving me like 5 different antibiotics and my body was saying no to every single one of them. So there was like... They didn't know what to do with me. That's why they put me to intensive care. It was crazy. I was literally like knocking at death's door. It's mad. Like even I have family members that are nurses and friends, and they come to see me. They're like, from our background of working in healthcare, we thought he was gonna die. Like we've seen stuff like this before. We thought he was gonna die. Like how you survived is crazy. Like they were telling us to prepare for the worst.
God.
So it's crazy. And there was like, obviously because I'm still young and I'm active, I don't smoke and drink, so that could be a factor of why I would get better rather than an elderly person might have not recovered, or someone that isn't so healthy might have not recovered. So
God, that's like honestly, hats off to you.
Seriously.
It's very overwhelming.
I can
just
imagine.
like sitting here and listening to it, I'm
shivering.
Yeah,
like,
literally. How many times have you seen me?
Sorry, guys.
Like I said, no, not even that. I just feel like, we don't see this at work a lot, and even like, just like I said, like even you mentioning strep A and me being like, what's that? Like I'm like, that's alarming. Do you know what I mean? If that's something that can lead to, a situation like yours, and it's something that should be spoken about, it should be something that should be opened up to actually all trusts and hospitals that we should actually, look out for, because I don't get told to look out for that.
No.
Yeah.
Genuine infection like sepsis, yes.
Yeah.
But like strep A, no. Especially postpartum as well. That that's another thing
something
to actually add on. And even the fact that you weren't listened to, this is obviously a massive issue in Black maternity. That, and this is what I'm saying, and I say every time, is that people think not being listened to is such a small thing, but it's do you know what, it can lead to something so much more, as you are an example of. Someone not listening to you can lead to massive consequences,
life-changing.
And this is the thing that we're trying to implement and really staple down, especially in Black maternity, because we are seeing that obviously Black women are the, you know, leading percentage of death rates in maternity, and this is why. This is why. It's because they're actually not being listened to. When Black women are saying that they are in pain, when Black women are saying that they feel a type of way, they should be listened to. Everyone should be listened to. It's not just Black women, obviously, but I want to speak on Black women because we are the leading percentage. And it's frustrating because I just keep thinking, why didn't that midwife listen to you? Like, what was it about you that they didn't want to listen to? Because if I heard those symptoms from anyone, Black, white, Asian, anything, I'd be alarmed. Like, alarm bells will start ringing straight away. And not even just because of what you're saying, but the way I always work in a way as of, you know, if someone's telling me they themselves, even if I look and observations are looking okay, or I generally think that they're okay, if someone's telling me I had babies before, this is not how I felt, I know my body, I feel completely different, my alarm bells are going to be ringing regardless of what their observations say. And like I said, there's no harm in sending someone in to be checked out. To be checked out.
It's crazy. Honestly.
It's honestly insane.
How was the recovery journey? I know you spoke about having to do rehab for 6 months. You said
no, rehab was 3 months, 3.5 months.
3.5 months. Were you away from home at that time?
So with rehab, I was an inpatient. So you can choose to be an outpatient or inpatient, but they said I had to be for the first bit. So I was an inpatient. So Monday to Friday, I was there. But after I'd done my physio at 12, you're basically free to do what you want to do. Your family members come. I was going out to eat with my family members. I was just trying to get back to some sort of normality, because it's not as strict as hospital. Like, you can go out and come back. But then Fridays I used to go home to Sunday nights or Monday morning sometimes, and then so that was nice to like get back home for the weekend. So I kind of treated it like work. Like, I'm here Monday to Friday, but weekend I'm going home.
And did it help with the transition of when you did eventually go home full time? Like, was it a thing where you'd go home some days or like the weekend and then extended it and then eventually you were home? Or like, did it help the transition at all?
Yeah, so I was going home from the beginning. I was always going home on the weekends, and then it was like Christmas period. So I think I was home for like a week or so. So that was a bit longer now. That was, I think I came home a few weeks after that. So it did like get me used to being back home and how to navigate at home without the nurses being there.
Sorry, and I'm asking quite a few questions, but in terms of bonding with the babies, because you had literally just had twins. How did you find that? How did you go about it? Any advice you would give to anyone, you know, kind of going through anything similar, but more so, how did you get yourself to the stage where you are now, with the twins, having a good relationship when, you know, the first few months of their life, you missed out on quite a lot, and when you were there, you were kind of a little bit limited because you're just trying to get yourself
back to
better.
normal,
How did you do that?
So when I did go home on the weekends, I tried to spend as much time with all of them, and I started to learn how to adapt to do things, and took it out of my mind that I can't do it. So even when I was in hospital and I just had my amputation, the twins came to see me, and they were about to have a bottle, and I was like, I want to try. So like I kind of like put the bottle in the crook of my arm and started feeding my twin boy, and then I was like, oh, I can do it. Like, I found a way and I've adapted. So when I got home now, stuff like that, like I had a strap that I eat with, so I would put the baby spoon on that and then feed them. So I was trying to do as much as I can. I wasn't nappy changing and stuff, but I was like feeding them, giving them bottles, stuff like that, just to feel like I'm doing something. So I feel like that helped our bond. And then I actually realised when I was in hospital that I had this fear that they wouldn't know me, but I realised every time they'd come or they would hear my voice, they would like look around, like they fully knew who their mum was. So that fear kind of left me. Good. And when I got home, it was just about getting to know them, because obviously I haven't actually been with them full time. And even to like recently, it's like it hit me. I was like, wow, I have twins. Like I still think that to this day, like I actually have twins. Sometimes like it's like a epiphany hit me, and I was like, wow, I actually have twins. Like I have 2 babies, and now they're like toddlers, and they got their own little personalities now, and they're calling me mom. That our bond has just grown from strength. And people would say like, do you like blame the twins, or do you have any resentment towards the twins? Because obviously this happened after giving birth to them, and definitely no, like wouldn't change it. I'd rather this happen to me than my twins. I'm happy they're healthy, and I'm here to see them grow. That's the main thing. So yeah, man, they're my bundles of joy, and they drive me insane and mash up my house. But I can imagine. But at the same time, but I love them. Yeah, man, they're good.
No, that's a really positive outlook, and it's good that you have that, because I can only imagine what that situation would have played on your mental health in that moment. But to kind of come out the other side and have such a positive outlook on the whole situation as well. I mean, I didn't even think about the people asking whether, you know, about the twins, do you blame them, resentment. I didn't actually think about that aspect of it.
One time I did the first ever magazine newspaper article, and I shared my story, and it came out, and it was like, the headline was, "My twins cost me my limbs." And I was like,
that is outrageous.
That
was
is
like,
insane.
What are you talking about? So I complained. I was like,
yes.
When did I ever say that to you?
Yeah.
For you to put that on the big front page of your magazine.
No.
How can you say they might grow up one day and see that.
Exactly. No.
It's nothing to do with them. I was neglected by
the healthcare professionals.
You get it? Like 100%. It's nothing to do with them. They came perfectly fine. This didn't happen in labour. I didn't get sepsis in pregnancy. This was aftercare. So this is what some people like get mixed up with a story, and I'm like, no, it's after. I caught an infection, and this is what causes sepsis. It's nothing to do with my twins. And I just feel like what's written is written. Like everything happens for a reason, and there's a reason it happened. There's a reason I'm here today and I survived. So I can't really sit and dwell about it, and I'm definitely not going to blame my innocent twins.
That's through the roof.
And obviously not to kind of like say that, you know, this happened for you to be an example or anything like that, but I think it's very important, and I'm grateful that you survived, because your story is going to encourage healthcare professionals, midwives, doctors, nurses to absolutely do better. To absolutely do better.
That's all I wanted from this. Like, I'm not really like, I was explaining earlier, I was like, I'm not really like, I was like quiet. I'm not really like a social media person. I'm kind of like an introvert. Like, I'm comfortable around my friends, but I'm not really the one to be. But when this happened to me, I was like, I need to spread my story, because if this even saves one person, one female from going through this, I'm going to spread it. So, I put the story out, and then it went viral, and I was like, oh my gosh. I think, at first I made a TikTok video.
I remember seeing the TikTok. That's where I saw it.
And it went viral, and TikTok even like put a sensory on it, because I was showing my black limbs and stuff. But it shot up, and I remember just getting loads of notifications, and I was like, wow, like I didn't think that was going to happen. And then I set up a GoFundMe, and I raised like 20k in one day, and I was like, wow, amazing. Like people actually care.
Because this is a life altering thing that you've gone through. I mean, no one goes to give birth and think a week after I'm going to be in a coma for a whole week,
and then I'm going to wake up and my lips are black,
and and then you have to now adapt to a whole new way of life, and it's a lot. And you have, honestly, you've done incredible to be where you are now. To even have the courage to speak about your situation time after time is brave.
Yeah, because everyone always says that to me. They're like, when you talk and tell your story, does it not trigger you? Or like, do you not feel upset? I'm like, no, I actually haven't told my story to someone and felt upset. Or even when people ask questions and they're like, sorry, but like what, like they don't know how to ask me. I'm like,
It's okay.
like I don't even mind you asking questions. I'd rather tell you that's me spreading awareness.
Yeah.
So like even me spreading awareness, I've had people message me and say, because of your story, I just had my baby and I went through the same symptoms as you and I got myself back to hospital and I actually had sepsis. Like I've had people message me that, and that's the main thing.
That's what I'm saying.
You are making the difference, definitely. Because I think also, I mean, your symptoms out there, not many people might recognize. I mean, flu-like symptoms. Someone might just commonly think I've got a flu and just leave it at that. But I think maybe after hearing what you have to say, they might think, you know what, like you said, the flu's lasted a little bit long. Maybe I should get checked out and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely.
And another thing, and I was thinking about the other day, there's not much like black women that's had sepsis and is a quad amputee. There is a lot out there because I've met them, but no one comes forward. There's not really black women that are sharing the story. It's more white women. And I've had, by me sharing my story, other black women that are amputees have reached out to me like, I've not met another black amputee. Like, so
like everyone's in
like everyone's just like not sharing, but it's good to share your story because it's healing for me because I'm speaking about it. And like coming here and having the space to speak about it.
And even with us, you're educating us.
Like, and even speaking to you guys as midwife, like to hear from your point of view, it's good to hear. So like, I've met so much people during my journey, like the last 2 years, that I'm glad I shared my story because I would have met half of the people that actually support me now if I didn't.
Exactly, it's good.
And there's even people that I'm close to now and they're my friends and they were strangers 2 years ago, but then they've pulled out more than some of the people I've known for years. So it just goes to show, like, share your story. If you have a story to share your story.
This is even, like I said, as a midwife, this is educating me. And I'm pretty sure it's educating Olivia too.
100%,
you know,
100%.
like you telling your story is really like I said, you know, we're always cautious about sepsis. Sepsis is always made like is literally like bam, like you know, as soon as someone gets a temperature, you know, recheck it in an hour. You know, we're already, you know, rushing around, getting ready, has the antibiotics on standby. You know, when someone is, you know, presenting signs of sepsis in labor, like you will see the whole team come together to help. Like everyone is just on job, which is, again, I feel like I've said it 100 times now, but like that's why I'm still so shocked that like you said those symptoms and
you still
were ignored, and I just can't help. I mean, people always say, oh, we played the race card all the time, but I can't help but think, but what was it about you that they didn't take that seriously?
You when know? People ask me that, I've been asked before, like, do you think race played a part? And then I don't know, I'm like a bit on the fence with it. I don't know, because obviously I know there is a big difference between how black women are treated, but then I can't say this doesn't happen to white women too. Like, and I've met a lot of white women that are sepsis and they're quad amputees and they weren't listened to as well. But definitely when it comes to like the not listening to like the midwife, even though one of the midwives was actually black that came to see me. I kind of get where everyone's coming from, and I've thought about 100%. It now, and it could be a possibility. I'm not going to say it is or isn't, but it could have been a possibility. And even throughout my labour, I was in labour for 2 whole days, and there was a point where I was just like at 3-4 centimetres and I weren't moving. And really and truly, they could have given me a C-section, but I didn't really want to go through the C-section procedure. I lost my friend literally like a year before. She was pregnant and she went into C-section and passed away in C-section. She actually had the amniotic fluids.
Ambulance.
And died. Her daughter survived though. So I was just I was just writing off C-section.
Yeah.
I was like, absolutely not. I'll push these babies out if that's the case, but I'm scared for that. So yeah, I forgot my train of thought, but
you can't pinpoint exactly.
But
that was why, but
basically I was just like, I'm gonna have these babies normally. Oh, that's it. The labour. So the labour was like dragged out and long, and I don't really feel like they supported me much throughout the labour. They wasn't really checking me as much. There was like in and out, and considering I'm a woman that's having twins, I thought there would be more like a full-on team. There wasn't. They hardly checked on me. Even when I was in pain, I don't feel like I was really listened to until there was a time when I couldn't take it. And I was just like, they were like, oh, they mentioned popping my waters. And I was like, can you just do it? And they were just like putting me off, like, it's going to hurt. I was like, well, I'm already been in pain for how long? Just pop my waters. And they popped my waters and they actually listened. And then within like a few hours, I started giving birth. Like I started pushing for first baby. So yeah, I feel like if they had just done that from earlier, then I wouldn't have been in the pain. But it's like they let me be in pain for hours.
Did they explain why they didn't do that earlier?
No.
So how, when you obviously, did you come into like spontaneous labour? Like you just started contracting when you came into hospital, or was you induced or anything?
With twins, you have to have your baby by, I think it's 38 weeks.
Yeah.
And I had an induction booked. 2 days before my induction, I started feeling pain. So I called up, I went in. They checked me. I wasn't dilating yet, but I was nearly dilating. And because my first 2 labours were 4 and 3 hours, they were like,
just come in.
There's no point in sending you home. This is probably really quick. So they admitted me. I stayed in. I was on the gas in there, like bouncing on the ball all night. Checked me in the morning. I was like 1 centimetre. Then that whole day I was like I only went to like 2 centimetres. It was like I wasn't progressing. And yeah, it was just slow. Like I've never had that with my other babies. But I was in pain.
We do always say thirds are always unpredictable. We always say that. So was you in like the labour ward at that point, or was you in like,
I think I was on
antenatal ward.
And maybe antenatal ward. I think
fine.
Antenatal ward. Okay. No one could stay with me. And I was just there all night. And then, so that was the 10th of April I went in. 11th of April I was still in labour. 12th of April, like 9, I think first baby came at 9:16 in the early morning. And then the other twin came 45 minutes later.
Oh, wow. 45
minutes.
So second one took a sign.
So even that's crazy, because with twins, they say when the first one is born, the other one can get excited because there's space. And
start flipping around.
So my daughter decided to do backflips and she turned breech.
Oh god!
So they were like, they're telling me this, like, there's a possibility that might have to take her out C-section. And then I was like, oh, absolutely not. I didn't push one out to one out C-section. And then she actually turned around, or they got her to turn around.
Yeah, sometimes they
and
do.
then she
like
came. That's why it was such a gap. So when I say that they're like 45 minutes apart, everyone's like, wow, like twins are usually like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. But they were 40 minutes.
She had other plans.
She was like, I got all the space.
She was like, I'm chilling now.
Literally. And it's so funny because when they were like inside my stomach, she used to always be kicking the boy. Like even in the scans, like her foot would be in his head.
Oh my god! How are they now? Did she still put her foot on his head?
She's the bully. She's the bully. She's the boss. She's the youngest, but the way she moves like she's the oldest.
Once she gets a couple of years on her, she showed over for everyone.
She showed the signs.
But she's so caring for her twin. It's like no one can't do nothing to a twin. That's my twin.
Oh, that's nice to hear. So just a few final questions from us. Just any advice you would give out there for people who have been kind of in your situation? What would you tell them?
I would tell them, definitely, another thing I would say is obviously talking to your family and friends. That everyone might have a family and friend they feel close to you to express, but get therapy. Like talk to someone that's not your family and friends. That sometimes you don't want your family and friends to take on the emotional baggage of how you're feeling. So getting therapy, that helped me. I started therapy when I was in hospital, in rehab, and I used to speak to her every week and on like Zoom call or FaceTime, and that helped me so much. Till I even got home, I still had her, and yeah, she was amazing. I was able to talk to her how I felt. She would like, even when I felt down, and there's times where I would like, maybe I shouldn't have been here, or maybe I shouldn't have survived. She would like deter me from that and say, no, you're here for a reason. Like, it was just good to speak to someone from a professional point of view.
Yeah.
So definitely I would say seek therapy, and heal. Like, just try not to, because you're always gonna, like, for me, you're always gonna grieve your old body. Yeah. Like, I'm always gonna grieve the old me of just being able to get up and do me. I was very independent. Don't ask them for nothing. Like, just do my thing. So you're always gonna grieve that side of you, but just see it as a new leash of life. That's what I think got me through it. Yeah. Like, just looking at it like, I got to survive. This is like my life, a second part of my life. Yeah. But now I've got purpose. I feel like I've got a purpose now. Whereas before, I didn't really. I feel like I was just like on the go mum. Like, not really having time for myself and giving myself self-care. But now, like, I prioritize that because I've been away from my kids for 9 months. So now I know that I can do it. Whereas before, I would never leave my kids. So now I know I can do it, and I don't feel guilty about it, because as a mum, you need your own space and you need to take care of yourself. And now I say, like, losing my limbs has made me take care of myself in ways that I'll go get my lashes done, I'll go get my hair done. Whereas before, I was just like, put my hair in a bun and just run out, like school run. So now, like, I just, like, I've learned to accept me for what I am, basically. Yeah.
That's really good advice.
Yeah, very.
I really love that. I really love that.
I guess it helps you appreciate the little things that you wouldn't before. And
definitely.
just allow you to cherish, like, yourself, and like, I mean, you have to look after yourself so you can look after your little ones as well. So yeah, that's very good advice, I would say. So thank you for that.
Any questions for us at all?
Have you guys come across any like sepsis cases being a midwife?
Not to this extent.
Not to my extent.
Not to you. We haven't experienced them to extent, because like I said, I'm used to just, you know, as soon as you hear someone developing sepsis or showing any signs and symptoms, we tend to act quite quickly. So I've never seen it actually get to the progress.
Have you guys ever been a midwife to an amputee, like, or lost a limb or something?
Actually, that's a great question. No, I haven't come across any on our maternity wards. Not yet, anyway. No. So we've got one final question for you. Obviously, I think a common theme from the healthcare providers that you had was that you felt like your concerns weren't being listened to. And you raised certain things that they just did not take on board. Is there anything else you would say that during your care, I mean, during your pregnancy care, your maternity care, labour care, and your postnatal, and then obviously your being in intensive care for sepsis, is there anything else that you felt like, as healthcare professionals or providers, we were shortcoming on? I know obviously you had concerns we didn't listen to. Is there anything else? So we know to do better. Do you know what I mean?
I just think, I think the main thing is just to be listened to. Like, just don't, like, even if someone's saying something and you think, she's just overreacting, or still just double check and get it checked. So even if as a patient and you go to the hospital and you might be presenting your symptoms and they brush you off, like, get a second opinion, because there might be one doctor that says another thing and the other one will be absolutely not. This is signs of sepsis. So it's just like, I feel like some people need to, like, midwives need to actually, or like nurses and that, need to actually take more like care in with your patients. Like, don't just, like, sometimes someone might be having a bad day and they're just like, not looking out for the small things.
Yeah.
So sometimes a small thing could be a big thing.
Yeah, it matters.
So yeah, it matters. Just listen. Like, it doesn't hurt. Just check in.
No.
And if that gut feeling as a patient is telling you something's wrong, that gut feeling saved me. Like, they even said if I didn't come into hospital that day, I probably would have went to sleep and not woken up. So always go with your gut. If something's not right, you know your body.
Exactly.
Get checked. Yeah.
Thank
That's
you
the
for
main
that.
thing. Yeah, I would say. And I would say for someone in my position, obviously I met some lovely nurses over my time and physios and all that stuff. But then you can tell who really does the job for the money.
Yeah.
And who does the job because they have passion for it. So there's some that I've had some quarrels with over the time of me being there, because I'm a person that, like, certain patients won't stand up for themselves, but I know what's right or wrong. So you're not going to treat me away because I'm an amputee and you're having to help me. Like, I need the help. You're here to help me. So yeah, sometimes some nurses would like make me feel a type of way, and I'll just have to. Yeah, some of them need to be more sympathetic to people's. Even once, I was getting a dressing changed, and this nurse hadn't changed my dressings before, and she literally took off my arm. This is when my arm was still black and I hadn't had amputation. She took down my bandage and she was like, "Oh my God, did you get electrocuted?"
Sorry?
That word.
So insensitive.
I was like,
Are you joking?
You're a nurse. Did you not read my notes before you came and changed my dressing? What do you mean electrocuted? That's so offensive.
That is extremely insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So unprofessional.
I even had one coming because I was
How
under
disgusting.
the plastics team. Another one came up to me. They come to see me because every morning they rolled round. And he was like, "I don't understand why you're not getting up and walking. These times my limbs are black. I can't walk. What's stopping you from walking?" I said, "Huh?"
Excuse me.
Were these people just walking into your room blindly? I'm confused.
He's on the plastic teams and he knew exactly what's going on with me. So for him to say get up and walk, it was even because at first they gave me like space boots to try and walk, and it was even a risk to do that because I could stand on these bones and they just crack.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's insane.
some of them said some wild stuff to me, and I really had to tell them about themselves.
Yeah, as you should.
100%.
But
and
I
as
just
you
feel
should.
sorry for patients because I did see patients
that can't
that
speak
don't
up for
really speak up for
themselves.
themselves, and I had to even step in a few times and say, "You can't talk to her like that. She needs your help."
God.
Like, there's even times where I'm glad that other patients heard these things happening to me, and I was like, "That's disgusting how they spoke to you," but I'm glad you stuck up for yourself. But yeah, some of these professionals, but that you can tell they're just there for the money. They don't care about people's feelings.
That's crazy. Honestly, it is.
That is absolutely insane. I can't believe that I'm still in shock.
No, same. I'm sitting here. When you said it, my mouth, I was
gosh.
like, huh? My mouth literally dropped. I was like,
She said,
huh?
"Oh my God, did you get electrocuted?" I was like,
Insane.
I was so
never
shocked. My mouth was
think.
wide open. I was like,
Yeah.
"Did you just
That's
say that?"
so
to me?
diabolical.
Whenever I see anyone in like sensitive situations,
I don't
like for
even wanna
example,
draw attention to
like for example with us, well, like the common sensitive situation that we're placed in, like bereavement care and those that have like, I'm on my toes. Like sometimes I'm just like, I'm preparing what I'm gonna say. Like when I'm in with normal labor, like I have quite like a bubbly personality anyway. I never really think about what I say, so I just go and I'm like, "Hey guys, I'm cool." But when I'm like around the bereavement, I actually have to stop and be like, "Okay, cool. Like I'm gonna go in the room and then I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna make sure I don't do this and make sure I don't do that."
Yeah.
So for someone to come into your room and ask you if you've been electrocuted, that is abysmal. That's crazy to me. Like,
And then when I asked her, I was like, "You not read my notes?" She was like, "Oh, and I didn't have time."
no.
So how are you changing my dressing then?
No.
Come on. Yeah.
You
Why
don't
you
even-
shouldn't be looking after
I
me.
sent
if
her
you ain't
so
doing it.
fast out that room.
No,
She didn't come
good.
back.
Good that you did that.
And I hope you raise this up.
Yeah, but I told the ward, like the manager of the ward, but I should have like reported her.
Yeah, 100%, because that is wrong.
Right. God.
Oh, what a way to end it. I
Yeah.
guess. Oh gosh. Wow.
God.
Oh god.
But yeah, I mean that's all from
Yeah.
us. Unless you've got any more questions for us.
what is your best advice you would give to someone in labour, like as a midwife?
Take it as it comes.
Yeah, do it like in labor in general.
Yeah,
I would say,
or like getting ready for labour.
I'd always say, do your research, and 2, keep an open mind.
Yeah.
And 3, as well as keep an open mind, know what you want.
Yeah.
At the same time, I think preparation and knowledge is a lot more important in labour, pregnancy and birth in general than a lot of people think.
I agree.
Yeah, like with my older 2, I obviously you always have your birthing plan and that. I wanted a water birth, but I never had a water birth from any of them, and I was upset. Obviously, you can't do that with twins. So I was like, sometimes your birthing plan don't even go to flight.
Exactly, yeah.
So there'll be times I'll get there, I'm like, I'm going to get in the water. They're like, oh no, that water room's booked. Someone else is there. So I was like, I never got to have the water birth. And then even with my second born, I was considering having a home birth. And then everyone started that, it put me off a bit. So I didn't have a home birth, but I should have. Yeah.
You could have.
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah,
so good.
But yeah, no, like you said, birth plans, birth preferences.
Yeah.
Because, you know, circumstances changes, babies make the plan, baby might want something. But yeah, it changes. But I agree with everything you just said about being prepared, keeping informed as well.
I've got another one, last one.
No, go on.
What's the worst thing that a person in labour said to you?
Oh God, the worst thing.
I mean, I've been sworn at before, so
do you know what? I never actually remember the ins and outs. I always just remember, like, do you know what? The worst thing someone said to me has not come from a patient, though. It's come from their partner.
Oh.
Yeah, it hasn't actually come from the patient. And like half the time, it's them that actually say the horrible things rather than the actual patient.
I agree.
Obviously, we come across a lot of like safeguarding, abusive cases and things like that. So, you know, a lot of the times we do get a lot of partners that are not just abusive to their partner, but obviously abusive to us
and
as
you
well.
can just see it in the way they behave.
And they just, they F and blind us.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've been effed and blind, I'm just like,
it's probably the worst thing we've been
told. Literally, but I can't think of like any specifics. Like I personally haven't had like someone call me out my name like so bad that I'd like remember it. It's always like the usual F's and blinds and and then complaining. I'm just like, okay, all right,
That's so funny because like that's what when I was younger, like in school and that's what I always wanted to be, a midwife.
Really?
Yeah, like I always like had an interest in that, and then I was gonna go back and then to study, and then COVID hit. Then I fell pregnant with my daughter. So then that set me back. And then not too long after I got pregnant with my twins, I was like, But yeah, something I always wanted to do, but I'm thinking about even doing like doulaing.
Why not?
Yeah, because I have the experience. It's not so intense.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Go for it.
Might be something that I'll do in the future.
Yeah, and we will see. We'll be here to cheer you on.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh,
that's really nice.
Thank you.
We want to say thank you, Deesh, for just coming on our pod
guys.
and just sharing your story. Like, we're so grateful that you've come on here and shared your story. And we just hope that your story does wonders to those that are watching us and listening to us. I hope that women that are listening to this just kind of get informed from what you said, like, you know, if they have signs and symptoms.
Should I say the signs and symptoms? Just so people know.
Yeah, of course. No, share with us signs and symptoms.
So signs and symptoms can include shivering, loss of appetite, vomiting, diarrhea, not passing urine, not a lot of urine, that's another one. Feeling like you're going to die, skin molting. So my palm actually started changing colour and my nose while I was in A&E. And it was really itchy as well. But I didn't know, I was like pointing it out to them. Another thing, that's like the main ones. And like obviously the aches and pains and stuff. But that's the main ones. I'm also a quad amputee, so that means 4 limbs have been amputated. So I have 2 below the knee on my legs, so I walk with prosthetic limbs, and I have below the elbow on my left, so this is a prosthetic arm. It comes off and goes on with a sock. And then I have all fingers on my right hand amputated. I have like a miniature thumb, which they made this year. Actually, I had another surgery this year, which they it was like all together, and they like made a gap and took a blood circulation vein from my groin and made a like moving thumb, a working thumb. So it's not giving me, the whole point of that operation was to give me like better grip, because I can't really grip stuff, but it hasn't really done much. Like, it's just giving me a thumb to like do things. So it's a bit disappointing, but hopefully in time I will get the best prosthetics.
Definitely.
But with arm, it's really tricky. That's why a lot of people that have amputated arms don't actually wear prosthetics. You see a lot of them just have their arm out, because you can do so much more. The prosthetics actually stop you from doing stuff.
Wow.
So
Something new, actually.
That's actually really
there's nothing that there's no type of prosthetic arm that will ever be as intricate as your fingers. So even the robotic ones, they're really heavy as well compared to your arm.
Wow.
That's
Can you just imagine? Yeah, I can imagine the weight in that as well. Oh, wow, okay. Crazy. But okay, thank you for telling us that.
Yeah, that's very
something new.
informative.
Wow,
I've never actually even like heard of that. Didn't even know they had robotic ones.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clever how they did it, but I guess with time and technology.
There's actually a woman that I know called Kim, and she actually just had a hand transplant. So basically, when you die, you put yourself on a donor list to give your limbs. People that are amputees can take your arms and actually put it on your arm, their hand, and it can be functioning. So
that's kind of like heart, liver transplant.
Yeah, you can get hand transplant too. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We're really going far, aren't we?
Yeah, it's a lot of things that can happen.
Okay, so that's really good, guys. So you've heard it. That's the signs and symptoms of body going into septic shock. So we hope that all women, we know that being pregnant, having babies, postpartum, you're at risk of sepsis. So just look out for those signs, look out for those symptoms as well. And this is not just to inform women, but inform midwives as well, that we need to do better. We need to listen to our women, and we can, just as Deesh has explained her story here, we can see how us not listening to someone can lead and snowball into something much more bigger. So it's important that, you know, when women are telling us that they're not feeling well and they're not feeling themselves, that we are listening to them and we are making the necessary referrals, and not just making the necessary referrals, making the correct referrals as well. Just like, for example, like you being brought in A&E, I would have personally brought you into maternity triage. So just making sure that women do also know this, because I'm sure if someone hellbent said, you know, if you want to go to triage, and I think you would have probably, well, you were feeling unwell actually, so I wouldn't even necessarily expect you to actually remember. But in the few days where you were more conscious, if the midwives kind of egged that onto you and said, you know, if you still feel, go to triage, then that would have been, probably could have potentially taken you down a different route.
Definitely.
So because we egg that on all the time. So yeah, that's it really.
Yeah, thank you again for coming. Thank you for your time and sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
It's been a great chat.
It's been very informative. Honestly, it has been. And that's the end of this. Do you want to give yourself a bit of a shout out where people can find you, where you speak more about your story?
I don't remember the at, so you could probably put everything, but I think my Instagram is __ DEES with 3 H's. I'm not sure what my TikTok is, but if you type in Deesh, you're more likely to come up, or my name, Khadija.
Okay. We'll put it all on there. Just make sure it's on the screen, and that's it.
Again, it's been lovely. Follow us on all our social media platforms. The Delivery Room on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. We release every Sunday at 7 p.m. And that will be all. Yeah. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.